Confederation Weapons Test Facility. Krieger Starbase. Chain Ion Cloudburst Development Report. Chief Interest Summary. The first full variant conversions of Panther fighters are en route to the Cerberus testing ground. The Chain Ion Cloudburst tandem weapons system has been successfully integrated and now awaits testing by the escort pilots from Midway. We look forward to their input regarding the weapon's utility and performance. Reduction of the ion weapons projectile process has improved both refire and damage potential. Tuning the projectile to release at 97.4 kilojoules instead of the standard 133.85 kilojoules gives us the same damage yield when focused through the improved lenses. The weapon fires with considerable rapidity and has an excellent range. With minimal power adjustment, the skilled pilot can maintain a long stream of high-intensity damage. The leave-over from the power plant allows us to charge the cloudburst emission system. Normally, a fighter's power plant could not support the operation of an electric discharge weapon of this caliber. The lens improvements in conjunction with more economical ion projectile make cloudburst possible aboard CIS Panther variant fighters. Achieving full impact with this weapon has proven quite difficult even for expert pilots. We presently believe that the discharge may sometimes pass around the shield layers of certain alien craft due to the alien's defensive system oscillation. However, if the weapon discharge can be immediately resynchronized, mainly by having the pilot wait for a few seconds before firing again, it stands a much better chance of making full contact with the alien shield layer and inflicting a great deal of damage. Signed, Major Charles Farmer, Testing Affairs Liaison.
From Lieutenant Max Maestro Garrett, subject on
I'm dumbstruck. I thought we won the war. Or, I really did. Now maybe I'm crazy, or stupid, or whatever, but isn't victory supposed to mean that we get to take it easy? You guys get to go on a romantic leave, well, -0 in Spider, unless you're into that sort of thing. I get a big bottle of Hell's Kitchen Stout and have a bender on a beach somewhere, hopefully +0 in Spider, unless, of course, you guys are into that sort of thing. Only I just counted more bugs in our last few engagements than I remember from most of the whole goddamn campaign. Scratch that little dream. Wrecking morale, Maestro.
There is nothing more frightening than a rumor,
Admiral Ryak commented when questioned about the reports of alien attack fleets spotted in various sectors located within Confederation space. At a press conference held shortly after the Midway's welcome home, the Admiral, Governor Cavazos, and other military officials addressed grassroots organization, the Unrestricted Information Network, concerns that the alien presence is still active within Confederation space. Governor Cavazos offered more.
What we have here are the straggling remains of a defeated fleet. The alien threat has been reduced to the petty sting of a pirate gang. Their lifeline has been cut, and, like any social insect, once separated from the hive they will fail and expire.
The reports received here at ISDN have been of organized alien strikes against private transports, refueling stations, and even against Confederation research facilities. The reports have varied in their depiction of the size of alien force encountered. Alien ships in numbers as high as 30 to as low as 2 have been accused of being the entities responsible for a growing count of destroyed shuttlecraft, cargo ships, and Red Cross vessels. Admiral Lita Ryak commented, saying that
the incidence of piracy and terror since the conclusion of our primary engagement with the alien menace has been mainly due to pirates and fortune hunters eager to lay claim to the salvageable wreckage left behind in our efforts. No citizen of the Terran Confederation should be risking their lives and others in a mad rush to cash in on the war. We stand to uphold and maintain the order, which has seen our vast civilization through 2 intergalactic engagements. We will not tolerate such behavior during the rebuilding phase that has only just begun. Thusly, we will not hesitate to eliminate any group who would challenge our authority. We wish to provide a level of predictable security that can only be maintained by absolute complicity with the official processes set in motion.
the Confederation has mobilized its forces to sweep any and all pirates as well as rogue aliens in the affected sectors. due to the dangers inherent in tampering with unknown alien technology, as well as the threat of pirate or alien reprisal. All independent salvage operations have been suspended in these areas until the area is determined to be clear of any possible threat. No timeline has been given as to when the Confederation will make such a proclamation. The ISDN will bring you inside coverage of alleged black market operations in an upcoming feature. I'm Peter, the ISDN correspondent for Sol System.
From Lieutenant Jean Stiletto Talvert, subject, reply all.
Romantic leave. Right. Remind me to beat the crap out of you, Lieutenant. The bugs have me concerned as well. Still, they've shown that they fly slower than a Mopok fertility ritual. As long as that's the case, I plan on enjoying the target practice. I'm glad we managed to blast those bugs headed for the jump. I don't want to think how big a party we would have been in for if we hadn't.
T.C.S. Cerberus Captain Report. Well, pilots, that was a surprise. Not exactly the way I wanted to welcome you on board the Cerberus and your tour of duty with her. It was as big a shock to me as you that the Courage system would have so many bugs. Intel reports that alien concentration in Sol is as of yet undetermined. Now, I realize you know that and are probably wondering what all your hard-earned credits are funding. But folks, we've had our eyes and ears pointed at the wrong place, and only now have we begun to realize that these critters are craftier than they look. As you've probably seen in your transcripts of the hearings on alien intent, we still don't know if the bugs are pursuing a straight-up invasion, multiple-stage infiltration, or even what their true numbers are. The only thing you should be concerned with is the fact that they are in spitting distance of our mother planet and ready for a fight. Confed is trying their best to keep a lid on this so that we aren't faced with a mass panic in Sol. The resulting exodus would clog our channels with more craft than we could keep track of. Needless to say, all outside communication of this situation is strictly forbidden. I wish to congratulate you on your interception of those bugs on their way home to tell the family about us. This ride would have been a lot bumpier if you hadn't. We dodged a pretty big bullet there. Nice work. If we can continue to efficiently delete threats like that, we should be able to end this thing pretty quickly. I hope. Now that we have managed to get out of the Courage sector, we are on our way to Ella. The Ella Starbase is one of the most important facilities in Sol, outside of Earth herself. If she needs any help, I want to be able to provide it. Most likely the aliens are expecting our arrival, and we'll probably have to face some long-range strikes from some insects looking to score a kill on Confed's newest big gun. I know that all of you are up to it. I personally don't care why the sects are here. I just want you folks to act as God's own exterminators and put these pests down. Let us hope that these are, as TC Central calls them, stragglers. I have the feeling that we're only getting a taste of what is to come. Luckily, we will not be deviating from our current course to help the Confederation control those black market maggots who are looking for a buck. Hell, I'd sooner share drink with one of the sects than those scum. Now let's go to Ella and make a difference.
From Lieutenant Lance Casey, subject, replied Guh.
I'm not touching that joke. But I will say that I really hope that this is just a few rogue bugs without a home. Something in my gut tells me otherwise, though. Of course, that might just be the chow on this tub. In fact, I know it's the chow on this tub. I've got to take care of this.
The jump points from system to system are now under constant Confederation surveillance since the defeat of the aliens. This following dozens of reports, complaints, and notices of pirates, mercenaries, scavengers, and non-aligned scientific vessels sifting through the debris of Confederation, Kilrathi, and alien craft in recent sites of engagement. Despite the Confederation mandate of a no-fly zone placed upon these regions of space, privateers and others have recklessly tied up jump point traffic and placed themselves in harm's way to garner some of the profit to be had by salvaging derelicts. Coupled with the alien threat allegedly foretold in the Sivar prophecy, the execution of Kill-Rather Blood-Eye pirates in Valgard has made the numbers of Kill-Rather participants in the looting minimal. This places the blame squarely on the Terran black market, which has Colonel Julian Novak calling for reasonable restraint. In comments made 2681.66, Colonel Novak said,
"It comes as no surprise that such risks are being taken in the name of profit. We've seen it in every major conflict of human history. There are those who take any opportunity for personal gain, regardless of the risks to themselves and others. This is not to say that we will tolerate any such activities. Until the Confederation has announced that unrestricted travel can commence in these sectors, citizens should consider these areas to still be a hot war zone and closed for any unauthorized civilian or corporate activity. If any vessel dares to dispute our authority on this manner, we will respond with all necessary speed and force."
The threat of previously unknown alien toxins, viruses, or other unknown contaminants present on derelict craft has prompted the action. Confederation sources state that the military scientific community, while excited at the prospect of examining alien technology, are very concerned about biological agents posing a high risk to even the most qualified of research teams. In her conclusion, Colonel Novak stated,
"This is a direct message to the small percentage of people we can't convince to avoid this area. We will perceive any vessel with alien materials to be carrying an unregulated contagion for potential use in acts of terror against the Terran Confederation. This means you lose if you meet up with us. Even if your intentions are the noblest, we cannot risk you contaminating the rest of the Confederation, and will fire upon you to neutralize any possible threat."
Strong words, and ones we here at ISDN recommend each and every citizen take to heart. I'm Peter, the ISDN correspondent for Sol System.
From Major Carl Spiderbowen. Subject, reply all.
Do you eat the chicken? I mean, did you eat the chicken like meat they served? Couldn't have paid me to eat that. At least they're paying us to hunt down the stragglers. Well, as you pointed out, Casey, the stragglers, I hope they are. Seems to me we've been on the defensive since the start of this engagement. How many clean sweeps have we done? Feels like the bugs are calling the shots at the moment. Midway got lucky with the wormhole. I don't know if we're really prepared for a second assault. Have you seen the scans on the number of craft they had poised to enter that wormhole before Iceman Jr. took it down? Enough to make you lose your sense of humor. Right, Maestro?
Alien Capital Ship Attack Techniques, an excerpt from Addendum C2 to the Terran Confederation Naval Flight Manual. Light and Star Base Brief, Lieutenant Colonel Ria Shalom Shelley.
I will apologize at the start for the informality of this addendum. As you know, things are getting hectic out there and we are in dire need of new information. With these techniques, we should be able to handle the bugs cap ships more efficiently. This addition to Addendum C has some added information for the boys in CIS, mainly ship weaponry. Let us continue. Providing cover, fighter support. Before you begin any kind of attack on a cap ship, make sure that most if not all of the enemy fighters have been eliminated. Stray alien fighters can easily pick off an unsuspecting bomber. Shield emitters and basic capital ship approach techniques. The most basic problem with alien cap ships is the turret barrage. The elimination of both missile and gun turrets will render the ship helpless against our bomber attacks. But first, the shield emitters must be destroyed. The safest way to approach the massive cap ship is to approach it from behind. Fly up towards the engines and target the shield emitters. They should be fairly close to the rear of the ship. When you decide to begin your attack, be sure to stay as close to the surface of the cap ship as possible. The closer you are, the less likely any of the turrets will target you. Also, as you start to fly towards the shield emitters, either match your speed with the capship or stop completely. This will keep you from ramming into things. Use your afterburners for movement control. When you cross the engines and reach the surface of the alien ship, shoot any nearby gun turrets. This will give you a clear and easy path to the emitters. Be sure that each section or arm of the shield emitters is destroyed. Shield emitters can range anywhere from 1 to 3 arms. Once the shield emitters are down, it's time to start clearing of the surface of the capship. Note, alien transports do not have shield emitters. Turret elimination. Turrets are generally grouped into 2 circular sections. One along the stern of the ship, and one along the bow. The key is to stay close to the surface of the ship while flying in a circle around the stern. As you move along, simply take out the gun and missile turrets with gunfire. After you make a complete circle, move towards the bow of the ship and begin the circling process over again. Once the 2 passes have been made, cycle through the targets on the ship to pick up any straggling turrets that you missed. Viola, 1 clean capship. Specific fighter techniques. Each fighter has strengths and weaknesses. This section will briefly describe the best gun configuration for each ship. With added experience and changes within the power configuration, differing techniques can easily be added into each ship's repertoire. Panther, full guns. Both the chain ion and the cloudburst add not only a constant stream of damage towards a turret, but a powerful burst of damage to finish it off. For best results, take a few pauses between shots to let your gun pool recharge enough for the cloudburst to fire. Wasp, dust cannon. With this much power at your hands, it's foolish not to use it. The Wasp has a large enough gun pool to complement the power drainage from the dust cannon. Simply aim at a turret and watch it disappear. In no time at all, you'll be ready for the next turret. Vampire, pulse particle. This quick-firing gun packs a nice amount of damage. Combined with the size of the vampire's gun pool, it delivers a near-constant stream of damage. Destroying a capital ship, bomber runs. Before you begin any kind of attack on a capship, make sure that most if not all of the enemy fighters have been eliminated. Stray alien fighters can easily pick off an unsuspecting bomber. Shield emitters and basic capital ship approach techniques. When destroying a capship's shield emitters in a bomber, use the exact same technique as a fighter as described under providing cover, fighter support, in the shield emitters and basic capital ship approach techniques section above. The turret dilemma. While in a bomber, the first instinct is to start taking out turrets. Don't waste your time. Because you are in a bomber, you have the power to destroy the entire capship and every turret along with it. If there is a particular turret that has you targeted and is giving you a hard time, go ahead and take it out. Otherwise, let's kill this big bug. Note, the one exception to this rule is an alien transport. You must kill all turrets on the transport before you launch any torpedoes. If you do not, the torpedoes will be easily shot down. The only way around this is to be so close to the transport that the turret doesn't have time to shoot the torpedo down. You must also time your shot so that the alien turret doesn't have a shot ready to go when you launch. For best results, kill the turrets first. The engine. After the shield emitters are down, see providing cover, fighter support, in the shield emitters and basic capital ship approach techniques addendum C2, it's time to eliminate the capship. Head back towards the engine. Be sure to select the engine with your targeting radar. The ship's onboard computer will usually target the bridge after destroying the shield emitters. Stay close to the engines. The closer you are, the less of a target you are to turrets and stray fighters. Let your torpedo lock and launch away. Watch your target VDU for the component's damage status. The changing colors will let you know how close you are to completely destroying a particular component. If the engine label is green, it's in good health. If it's yellow, damage has been done. If it's red, it is near destruction. And if it's blue, you need to completely destroy the shield emitters before any damage can be done. Eliminating the engines first will slow the capship to halt, making it a more stable environment to maneuver around. The bridge. Once the engines are down, all that is left is the bridge. Your targeting computer should automatically switch to the bridge after the engines are down. If it does not, select it manually. Fly towards the bridge along the surface of the ship. Be sure to keep the bridge within sight so your torpedo can get a lock. As you move along the ship, slowly gain altitude so that the bridge is lower than you. Attacking the bridge from a higher altitude almost always guarantees a clean hit. Again, be sure to watch your target do for the component's damage status. Once the bridge is gone, the rest of the ship, turrets and all, should self-destruct. Congratulations! You have destroyed an alien capital ship. Specific bomber and weapon techniques. As with fighters, each bomber has strengths and weaknesses. This section will briefly describe the best gun and torpedo configuration for each ship. With added experience and changes within the power configuration, differing techniques can easily be added into each ship's repertoire. Torpedoes. If you have a choice of weaponry, use the Lancer LT or light torpedo. It doesn't do as much damage as the Pike T, but it has a much quicker lock time. If things start heating up, it's much easier to get off a Lancer LT and escape unharmed. If everything is clear and you know that there are no threats around, load up a Pike T and watch the ships fall. Bomber turrets. If you are traveling a long distance, jumping in the turrets can be a good way to soften up nearby enemies. If you are attacking an alien transport, a good technique for taking out their rear turret is to turn around and use your bomber's turret. It has an inexhaustible gun pool and can therefore send many shots towards the target. They don't do much damage, but with that many bolts, the turret's chances of survival are slim. Shrike, dust cannon. Again, with power like this at your fingertips, be sure to use it. It is great for taking out fighters, and quite good at destroying turrets as well. Due to the fact that the gun pool on the Shrike is somewhat smaller, you must use short controlled bursts. Because of this, accuracy is of the utmost importance. Some pilots experience trouble in destroying turrets with the dust cannon. If this is the case for you, switch to the pulse particle. It has larger bolts and is mounted on the far extents of the ship to provide a wider range of coverage. Devastator, plasma cannon. Forget torpedoes. The Devastator's plasma cannon simply cannot be matched. 3 or 4 shots from this massive gun will take down almost any capship component. The plasma cannon is also superior in killing any bothersome alien fighters. In most cases, it's one hit, one kill. It takes some skill to hit fighters, but with a little practice, they will become easy targets. Lieutenant Colonel Ria Shallow Shelley. Luyutan Starbase.
After the T.C.S. Midway's return home and the revelation that the hero of the Confederation, Commodore Christopher Blair, the Heart of the Tiger, had been lost in the final battle with the aliens, an announcement regarding the memorial service has been made. A major ceremony will be held on Sol and Nephilim. An announcement is expected regarding the Nephilis Council's establishment of Commodore Blair's farm as a historical site. Among the requested performers and speakers, the Love Animals, noted as the Commodore's favorite musical group, will perform. Also expected to be present are Saronya Carr, noted for her portrayal of Luna Jones, Jump Scout in the late 50s and a guest aboard Blair's first ship, the T.C.S. Tiger's Claw, Senator James Paladin Taggart, Captain Daniel Wilford, Major Todd Maniac Marshall, and others. Flat scan and holovid broadcasts will be available, with sectors outside the initial delay zone receiving packet transmission at the highest non-essential priority delivery status. Commodore Blair's remains were not recovered, and he is not survived by any immediate relatives. ISDN will bring you extended coverage of the service and a brief retrospective of this hero's astounding life, without which we might all have succumbed to the menace of 2 alien threats and 1 civil war. This is Rory, reporting from Confed Headquarters, Sol System.
From Major Terrence Zero Hearn, subject replied,
"You don't quite get how this is supposed to work. See, when I have a bad feeling, you guys are supposed to say, 'No, Zero, that's just your imagination.' Or you could say, 'Of course not, Zero. Why don't you take a month of leave and get your mind off of things?' You have to go and say you're feeling the same thing. That's just so wrong I don't know where to begin. I've been hearing some things which make me very nervous. I think Spider's dead on with being worried about our current status. We shouldn't be defending on a clean sweep mission. There definitely shouldn't be this many bugs. I have to agree with Stiletto on this one. With the number of bugs we faced when they didn't know where we were, it would have been a nightmare to get out of there with our scent on their antenna, or feelers, or whatever they have. I better get some sleep while I can. Recommend you do the same."
Personal log 2681.70. I've never seen so many bugs at one time. Never. I didn't think I'd ever use so much ordnance in my career. The Wasp has always been the mother lode of firepower, and I just about drained her dry on one intercept. I don't even want to think about what might have happened if I hadn't helped zap those 2 insects running for the jump. The fight through the courage system has been hard enough without those bugs getting to tell their friends about us. The captain gave us just the right pat on the back and said he'd buy me a drink. Can't turn that down. Maestro isn't taking this well at all. He said he had some supplies to help him out. Don't even want to think about what that means. Zero is really worried about the number of mercs exposing themselves to alien crap. I don't know what to think about any of this. Just when the Confederation looks like it has its act together, we've been several thousand morons with ships willing to screw it all up. Gene is distant. I've been trying to get through the Stiletto armor to find out what's wrong, but with no luck. Spider has just turned into Mr. Regs. His voice sounds older, his attitude scarily focused. I'm glad to have the guy on my wing, but I want to personally put him on a shuttle for the nearest officer resort the second this thing is over. Jesus. We've been on this assignment for a heartbeat and already feels like we've been at this shit for months. Next up, we're hitting the Ellis system. I've always wanted to see the Ellis starbase, big enough to house the Midway between her landing bays. Supposed to be quite a sight. Now, if only the bugs will comply and make this a pleasurable visit. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'll be doing more blasting than sightseeing. By the way, we're gonna miss you, Bug? I have no idea what is funny to these guys, but that, for the record, was not funny. I've got to check on getting the air mixture they're getting.